Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good morning and welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Carol and I'm here with my co-hostesses, Gretta, Kathy, and of course, the Realm of Beings. We're very happy to be here on Transformation Network on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Listeners, thank you for joining us in this experience. These conversations will help you to realize how you're creating your reality in your life, how it shows up, and what you can do to shift your reality to be what you would like it to be. Welcome. If you're new to this podcast, every week Gretta receives a quotation from the Realm of Beings, which we discuss very lively like, and then halfway through the program, the realm will come in and weigh in also. This week, we're continuing the theme of money. Is the grass really greener on the other side? It is important to stay focused on yourself because you are the one that creates your personal reality. It is easy to compare yourself to others and perceive that they are doing better than you. However, this comparison is a futile effort because you do not know what lessons they have committed to explore and learn. Therefore, stick with yourself and develop unconditional love and appreciation for the wonderful being you are. And I read the title on purpose, Is the Grass Really Greener on the Other Side? Because when I was much younger, I swear I knew this stuff before I ever heard about creation of reality. I would say when people said, is the grass greener on the other side? I'd say, yeah, until you get there and you realize it's also crabgrass. So I think this is especially important that people don't compare, and I'm totally guilty of this, don't compare their lives or themselves to others and feel that they're not doing as well as these other people. As the realm has taught us, there are no mistakes. There's no wrong things to create. You're creating at all times, so you're successful at creating at all times. So just stick with the lessons you need to learn and don't worry about what the other guy's doing. I think it's really important that you focus on yourself, and I think that's important message from the realm this week. Who wants to go? Kathy's itching to go there.
Well, I don't know if I'm itching. All I know is that a lot of the stuff that we are discussing now, I'm sure for some people it's just going just blowing them up, because a lot of times I think we are taught to do comparisons. Even when you go to school, you have to compare this problem to that problem, this leader to that leader. And you're always looking at what someone else is doing. Even when you're in the classroom, you're judging. And I don't know whether or not how much judging comes into it. Like if you do like an art piece and you look at someone else's and you go, oh, gee, look at how great their piece looks next to mine. I mean, it's like we're somehow I feel like we're on a hamster wheel, just going around and around in a circle. I understand it's just an expression, but it's still, I can imagine where we are just so conditioned and trained to just watch television, the life of the rich and famous. It's always you're always bombarded with all these images, even how you look, what your body should look like.
Oh, phew. When I was at a young age, the model that we were exposed to was Twiggy. And I could not look any further differently than Twiggy it just was not. I was already hourglass shaped at 10 years old.
Yeah, I'm a branch.
Yeah, it was not good. Grades in school, that's a way of comparison too. But then again, do they need to have success measured as to what they're learning? I mean, we can get into all kinds of areas that can be controversial here. But I took from this particularly comparing myself personally with others who they're actually things that I wish I were more like. People who are taller, people who are thinner, people who have more money than me, people who are more successful than me. I mean, you could go on and on and on, and you're not going to accomplish anything that way. I just need to look at me and figure out, why am I creating what I'm creating, and deal with it that way.
But I'm getting tired of doing that sometimes. It's exhausting.
It's just the truth.
It's exhausting sometimes for me. And, because I, my understanding of the creation of reality is getting broader. But I'm not sure if I am. And I guess sometimes, how's the thing go? Ding, 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 ding. The more you know, the more you grow. But it's like, when do I stop growing and just know,
I don't think that you'll ever stop growing.
Well, see, there you go.
There you go.
Learning is forever.
Yeah, because somebody asked me, when do the lessons stop? And I said they don't. I think the whole thing about this is, and both of you have touched on it, is appreciation of self. It's important for us to really appreciate where we are at the moment that we're there, because then that's when we can expand those moments. Because if you're downing yourself and you feel unworthy, you feel that you don't, I'm not as good as so-and-so, kick me in the butt again. It's like, how will you can't grow the way you want to grow. See, you're right, Kathy. I mean, we're looking at all those magazines, like you said, the rich and famous, and look at somebody's $23 million mansion. We look at those things and we can say, well, why isn't that happening to me? Because when we get down to, quote unquote, if we want to call people ordinary, who's an ordinary person? Who is? What do we? I am just so tuned into appreciating what I have at the moment, because that's keeping you in the now.
Right? But let me flip it, Greta. I don't mean to cut you. Just let me flip it. Let's take somebody like Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass. And let's say they are enslaved property, which they were. And let's say that they're looking at free Africans walking around. That grass is greener on the other side. Now, their choice is, do I accept or stay where I am, cast down my bucket where I am? Or when is it okay to see that grass is greener on the other side and go for it? That's the question. Is that for you or for the realm?
See, the thing is that if you use that example, what if you get down to the real nitty gritty of it, what gave the encouragement to lead? They had to begin to love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They had to begin to love themselves to say, okay, I don't want to stay in this environment, and I want to take a chance and run for it. Then they had to create, not only to create to run, but then they had to create not to be caught.
Exactly.
You see, so that meant it's taken more love. I have more love for myself. I have more appreciation for myself. It's like people who migrated from Europe, during after World War II, when people left, several people left Europe and they came here. Why? Because they wanted a different way of life, and they probably thought that greener zone. It's better to go. Let me take myself and my family to America versus
the land of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Right. And look what greeted them.
Some people were very successful because they created it. They created it.
You're right. But it's
I watched these shows like The Men Who Built America, like the Carnegies and the Rockefellers, and I think, and even like the food that created America. And somebody came up with the idea of packaged cheese or, revolutionary things for the times. And I keep thinking, why didn't one of my ancestors do that first, But again, we create our own realities, and I just have to constantly remind myself of that. And that's how I survive now.
I hear you, but just another example that popped into my head when we were just talking is what I call the misnomer, the Great Migration. The real Russians in America, the African Americans that rushed up north thinking the grass was going to be greener. And when they arrived in cities like Chicago and New York and other places, they encountered the same challenges up north. Actually, let me correct that. They created the same challenges and experiences up north that they had down south, except, it's like, what do you do? I mean, it's one thing to appreciate yourself, but sometimes it's we're humans. And so, we're dealing with all of these illusions, and we're we're learning our lessons to love ourselves unconditionally. But, what everybody's learning all at the same time, and you're not in the same classroom and you don't have the same teacher, it's like, oh my God, it's like fighting witches, it really is.
It's like, when you use that example reverberates out to the fact that the people who came brought their plight, in some cases, brought their plight with them. I think when you look at the grass you think the grass is greener on the other side, but one thing that comes with that is if you take the same old with you and you go across to the next yard, you're going to still be facing the same thing. You just change the yard.
Right.
So then we get into the point of what do we do? Because in some cases, it is greener on the other side. It's better to be free than not to be free. So, exactly. but the thing is, if I take my concept that I am still a slave, the slave mentality, then it's going with me. We have, I'm going to call it a capsule. It's like an internal capsule. And we want to reevaluate our lives. I suggest that to everybody. I know I have to do that on occasions. Let me reevaluate what I'm doing. And is this something that I really want to continue to do? Because that capsule is there. If I don't change what's inside that capsule, I don't care where I go. I'm going to absolutely, and you're going to be creating the same situations because you're going to be looping.
Right.
Oh God! Oh.
And then perhaps maybe look, like you said, if the next yard's grass is actually greener, question why. What do they do that you don't do? They're probably doing fertilizer. They're giving it a lot of care, make sure it has enough water. They're loving it. So it does become greener. So your yard can be just as green if you give it the same love.
But one thing I found absolutely, and one thing I found with the people that I work with, that there's so many people telling me now, oh, this is really wonderful. People are getting new jobs. One gentleman was talking to me the other day, and he said he had gone out and bought flowers to put around his in his backyard. He's by himself, and his kids are grown. His daughter's graduating from college, so they're out of the home. But he's planting all these flowers. He told me, he said, and I'm planting perennials, so they'll come back. And he was just going on and on. He was so enthusiastic about the flowers he put in his yard. So, but what I can compare that to is the flowers that we have to put in our lives.
Mm.
We have to put flowers there as well. We have to water it. Just like you said, Carol, we got to water the grass. It's not that, and what's the grass with us? The grass is our mind. The grass is our thoughts. The grass is our emotions.
What are perception?
Feelings. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
One of the words in the quote says that you perceive others are doing better than you. So
Absolutely.
Again, we have to remember it's all illusion.
Right, because you can be a king of England and have cancer. So
Absolutely.
You can think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not for them. I would not want to live that kind of a life. I just wouldn't. That does not appeal to me. Mansions kind of just don't appeal to me. Some things appeal to other people, and they strive to get that. I'm just focusing on health and healing myself and loving myself. And every time I slip up, or I shouldn't say slip up, every time I decide to find a new way to learn this lesson, I swear, I just want to just go. But I can't beat myself up because that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go, okay, did you learn it yet? Well, maybe I did. Well, let's find out. Then you turn around, guess not.
Then you get another one that shows up and lets you know, okay, you didn't learn it.
You forgot it.
Yep. I got angry the other day. I didn't even realize I had gotten angry until I got up. And it's something about me falling to the right. It's something about that. And I got up and I said, I started losing my balance. I went toward my high boy. I said, I'm not falling down. I'm not falling down. So my left leg held me, but my muscle did in the calf did a kind of a torque to it. Ooh. And so I said, that does definitely, I have pain. I had to find out exactly why I was angry. And I was angry because I had worked with this lady who is temporarily experiencing cancer. And she went through a back procedure that I find very horrendous. And I was thinking about her, and it just made me angry, that we still have to go through certain things, that science, I want science to be so up there that we don't have to create pain. We don't have to, do all that. And so she's in a lot of pain because of the procedure that they felt that she had to have. And I'm sure she felt that way as well. But then it's painful. Mm. And there's nothing else that can be done about it. We're doing facilitations on it. But so that pissed me off. And I didn't realize it was in my unconscious. Mm. And it manifested itself the same day, but about 4 hours later. And I stood up and there I said, there I go. Here I go again. I said, but I ain't going this time. I am not falling all the way down. I stood my ground. I said, ooh, it hurts, but I stood my ground. I stood up, So, but I'm grateful that my legs held me up. I told the muscle, I said, thank you for bearing that with me, but, I appreciate you. So I'm still kind of, what do you call that? I have a certain walk now. I slide, not step. I slide, not step.
You're doing the black man's walk. So.
Absolutely.
You're strolling.
Yeah. So, but, I don't know why I said that, because that's got to do with what we're talking. Yeah, I know what it's got to do with. It's got to do with me appreciating me and letting go of any anger and stop being captured by these emotions.
That's it. That's the word. That's the word I couldn't come up with. Captured. And then I'll go, darn it. Oh, give us free. Okay, there we go. Give us free.
I find, because I'm a history buff too, and I get very angry looking at some of these shows, at some of these things that happened. And I know I've mentioned this to Greta, and Greta right away says to me, and who created that reality? And I say, they did. So this is how I deal. I still want to learn this stuff, everyone talks about Columbus discovered America. Well, he did not. He never laid foot on the continent. He got as far as Haiti, which was then called Hispaniola. When he got there, there was a population of 500,000 people. By the time he was done doing what they were doing, there was a population of 3,000. The Europeans brought plague. They enslaved them. They treated them horribly. And what I was not taught in school that I just learned, and Kathy, as a teacher, you probably know this, Queen Isabella did not send Columbus on that voyage just to try to find another path to India. And we call indigenous people here Indians because Columbus got lost. Is basically what it came down to.
Ran into a bunch of Africans over there too.
And she did not expect them to look for gold. That was his personal thing that he wanted to do. Her main objective, which is I also find offensive, is she wanted to have everybody in the world converted to being Catholic. So that was his
greener on the other side. It's better that
was so steadfast about Catholicism that everyone needed to be converted. And to me, again, that's not honoring people's self-creation or their divinity on what they choose to believe. So I found myself feeling angry about that. And I had to stop and say, but yeah, those people created it. That was their reality to create.
Absolutely.
And that's how I calm myself down.
And when you do that, Carol, that eliminates you from blaming. It eliminates you from sympathy, all of those low vibration emotions that we have,
right.
And then also, since we're on that type of thing, emotions, look, sometimes people just get downright angry at people because they perceive others doing better than they are. And get angry at her.
And some of those people are called muggers.
But some of those people, they channel that anger against the wrong person, against the wrong people. And that's what happened here in this country. Oh, you can't have these two groups united against these rich people. We can't keep our money. So let's create this thing called white. And now we'll separate them. And they'll vote against their own interests and fight for us. Because you never see rich people fighting. Even in the Revolutionary War, they paid other people a place for their son, and they abandoned Washington at Valley Forge.
Most of those rich people got rich because of wars.
That's true too.
Ladies, we are at that point where I know I hate ending our lively discussions, but we are ready to hear from the realm. So we will take a quick break. Listeners, please stick with us so we can hear more information on this particular quote. Thank you. Welcome back, listeners. Thank you for sticking with us. We have reached the portion of the podcast where the realm of beings will weigh in on the quote they gave us, or they gave Greta, and she shared with us. Realm, are you with us?
Yes. We're ready to roll.
Oh, I love to hear that. All right. We have been discussing, is the grass really greener on the other side, or is it crabgrass, just like on this side? The quote is, it is important to stay focused on yourself because you are the one that creates your personal reality. It is easy to compare yourself to others and perceive that they're doing better in life than you are. However, this comparison is a futile effort because you do not know what lessons they have committed to explore and learn. Therefore, stick with yourself and develop unconditional love and appreciation for the wonderful being you are. Take it away, Realm.
You see, it's challenging sometimes, or it can be, depends on the person, to realize that everybody came into this reality with lessons that they were given to practice. And the thing is that you chose the parents that you wanted to move through physically so that they would jumpstart you like a battery. When the battery dies, you have to jumpstart it. So when you're there, not that you died, but that you're there, and your parents are going to jumpstart you in the realities of your lesson. So you see, some people chose families that were quite wealthy in that cultural framework in which they came from, or which they were born into. You see, wealth and greener on the other side depends on what does that mean to you inside your framework of thinking. What does greener on the other side mean? If you're living in the Amazon rainforest and you want to look at something greener, it may be moving to a different part of the Amazon rainforest, or seeking your perception of advancements within that cultural framework, which is totally different from a cultural framework of somebody who's living on the Sahara or living in the Sahara Desert. So everybody's concept of what's greener on the other side also is developed within you. That concept, it's based on how you think, how do you feel, where do you get those things from? You get them from your culture, you get them from your family, you get them from the country you live in. So when you think of this whole world, greener on the other side has so many different connotations to it, you see. Maybe one person would be, I want a better house in the Himalayan mountains. Or I want a better house in the desert. Or I want a better house in the rainforest. You see? Or I want a better house in the city. So there's so many things that compile your perception of what is greener on the other side. But like you or Kathy said, Carol, when you get to the other side, you may have a rude awakening because you're going to see, I moved to this city, but I'm still having the same challenges I had when I was living in the country. You see. So,
very true.
Because what you said earlier is that it's not about changing the place or the location. It's about changing your inner. See, greener on the other side alludes to looking outside of yourself. And what we want through this quote is for people to understand, don't look out, look in. That is it, the in, It's not wrong to say you want to live in a mansion, or it's not wrong to say that you want to be homeless. It doesn't matter, because everybody has their own lessons to learn. And each one of us doesn't know what the lessons are for the other person. You can have children and you could have 5 children and you don't know what their lessons are, because each one has chosen something.
Sometimes we don't even know our own lessons.
Now that is true, Carol. But when you learn to look, then you can start to figure out Yes, but you must be open enough to want to learn to look. And then you can see, like, who are you bringing with you? You know, it's like changing jobs. I don't like the job where I am, but I think that this job over here will do better. Okay, so you swing on over to the next job, and son of a gun, don't you have a supervisor there like you had at the other job? And that was one reason why you left. Because you thought that job would be better for you than the one that you're leaving. And then lo and behold, you're standing there now in the next job, happy that you successfully got a new job. You successfully left that supervisor behind that you didn't like. And then you come to the new job smiling and ready to roll and be so excited over it. And then there's a downer, because as you meet, the next supervisor is a replica of the one you just left. So when you jumped over to green on the other side, you were jumping by way of the outside physical.
Right.
Took that
When
lesson.
you want to jump by the inside.
So who
Now
has a great song back in the 60s, you know, about just that? Look at the new boss, same as the old boss. I won't get fooled again. I don't know if anybody remembers that song, but that's exactly what it talks about. You think you're changing your circumstances, but you end up in the same situation, probably because, as the realm has said, you're looking outside.
You haven't changed yourself.
Not looking inside to change. And that's what we have to do.
Yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But let me say this. It's going to take courage sometimes for you, deep courage to change the way you believe, or to change thoughts that have been given to you over and over and over again through the families that you interact with, or through your friends, you see. So it's like courage is the pathway for inner work. To be courageous, to do those changes. Because sometimes you can create other people to say, no, don't go north, stay here with us. You see, don't go, stay here with us. But you have that feeling, I've got to go, I've got to go. Just make sure that when you get going, that you've really, really looked at how you think and how you feel. And what do you want to experience when you get to the new place? In other words, don't run. Don't run and think that you can, over here is better. I'm going to run over here. You see, the running may get you to the other place, but it's not going to give you the satisfaction that you thought you were going to get necessarily.
Well, that just brought to my mind, a fleeting thought that, I don't know who said, look before you leap, but that's, I was wondering if you're kind of playing off that, or can we kind of throw that into the mix,
Throw it in, Kathy, throw it in.
Well, look before you look. Look before you leap.
Leaping lizards. I've heard that term, leaping lizards. Not that you're lizards, but leap. Did you say it again? What? Leap before
leap,
you what?
Leap before, excuse me, look before you leap.
Yeah.
Oh, look before you leap. Oh, you got to watch that look too, Kathy.
Uh-oh, why? Why,
You
Rel?
know that look is through your perception.
Oh, no. Just when I thought,
Always.
You
It's
can be
always.
looking through your perception. You know, it's like being out in the desert and you need water. And so you get those mirages that you think the water is out there. So we leap toward it. And when we get there, we find out it's nothing but sand. That we were fooled. We were in a mirage. You see. So
It's true.
looking before you leap, that look has got to go deep. You got to go deep inside yourself when you're taking a look, you know. And then if you feel that, okay, I think I've got this together, but one way to look so you can leap is to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you're leaping, you're going to reach the water instead of some more sand. So that look, yes, but look inside. Look inside, not outside, because you will step in the sand.
Realm, is it okay to look at other people as maybe like a symbol of a goal that you would like to achieve for yourself? Like someone that you maybe admire, like Greta, somebody you admire greatly. And you're looking, so I'm looking at Greta. She's not inside me, but I look to her as someone I admire and I try to be more like her.
No, you don't want to do that.
Because I don't have the same lessons she has.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you don't know what she's going to do. You want all that with you as well. You want
I've learned that I don't want that.
I don't want to fall down.
I learned the hard way.
Down too much.
I learned the hard way.
We don't want to do that.
And I said, I think I'm experiencing just being Kathy. Because, as a facilitator, I said, I want to be like Greta. And I said, wait a minute, what does that mean? See, I got to look before I leap. And then I got to see, is the grass greener on the other side? And then I go, I don't think I want to do that with that. I don't think I want to handle that. And something in the back of my head said, that's a Greta job. And I just let it go. Because
you don't want to be. It's good to say, I mean, it's all right. It's all right. But look what you're saying.
You don't like
what
yourself.
You're speaking. I want to be, it's like saying, I want to be like, think of somebody for me. Suzie Q. I want to be like Suzie Q. Well, that's nice. You want to be like Suzie Q. But guess what? Suzie Q is getting ready to be incarcerated in the next week. So you want to be like Suzie Q. Yes, you looked on the outside. You saw the outside package of Suzie Q. And you see, you can't ever go inside Suzie Q to see if that is truly
who you want to be and what you want. Because
says you don't know what lessons they've committed to learn, and they may
how they committed to learn.
How exactly?
The how is very foolish. I found out, Rel.
Yes, it is. That's the decisions that we make by creating our reality. Is the how to learn the lessons.
I decided I want easy. I want joyful. We'll do mine with ease and joy. I don't want any. No. I am not DJ T, whatever his name is, because people want to be like that person, and that person is like that. Excuse me, that individual has really created some very interesting challenges for themselves. But there are tons of people that want to be like that person, and as the realm said, that's a classic example. Do you really want to do that? because everybody else getting locked up right now is not that person. It's everyone that wanted to be like that person. So they didn't look before they leaped. And if they looked and liked it and leaped anyway, then you get what you
that
get.
means that's a lesson you want to go through.
There
If you leap and you wind up in the quicksand because you didn't jump high enough or you didn't do that long jump, those long jumps that they do. That's wonderful when I see people doing those long jumps. But you can't long jump it. It's better to sit down in your rocking chair and contemplate how wonderful your life is. Pick out the things you like about your life. If you're sitting down downing yourself, rise up a little bit and think and start looking around. What do I have that I like? I got a new pair of shoes yesterday. Yay, I like my new pair of shoes. Maybe you only paid $15 for them, but that's wonderful. Maybe you only paid $3 for them. That's wonderful. But maybe you didn't pay $14,000 for them like the other person across the road. But what does it do? A shoe is a shoe.
And isn't there the expression, I cried because I had no shoes until I met a man that had no feet? So I think in the quote, it's also accentuating that you should be looking at yourself and appreciate who and what you are. And remember that we are divine. I know I forget that a lot.
I see you as divine, Carol.
Thank you, Kathy. You're divine also.
Oh, thank you. I don't have to tell the realm. They already know
society.
The realm should know that they're divine.
That's wonderful. But to our audience, we wish to say to you, and we say it every week, it's important for you to love yourselves unconditionally. Not beat up on yourselves because you didn't do this or you didn't do that. Stop looking at, we suggest, you stop looking at your next door neighbor who has a pool and you don't have a pool. Because with that pool comes a lot of other responsibility.
True.
That maybe without the pool, you feel better. You see. So you never know. So the big thing for this quote is for you to look inward at you. Develop you. Don't look outside and say, okay, that look at her. She's thin, and look, I'm heavy. Be grateful for every cell in your body. Love you, love everything about you. Don't down anything. If you live in a one-room studio apartment, love every part of it. That is not saying don't plan to move to a one-bedroom. We're not telling you not to do that. We're just saying while you're in the studio, appreciate it.
Appreciate
that you have a home, you have a roof over your head, because many people
appreciate
don't.
what you've done, and then once you appreciate something, then you will create the next thing, because you're going to want to. It's only nature. You're going to want to, what you call, improve yourself. It's like some people, they enjoy living in a cardboard box. That makes them happy. It makes them have a sense of freedom. They're not caught with anything, you see. So how many of you would want to say, I want to be homeless? Like Jerry on the corner. You see. Most of you would say, oh, no, I don't want to live homeless. I don't want to be homeless. Oh, no. So you're putting judgment in there. You're putting judgment in there, you see. So just note that Jerry is happy in his cardboard box. He has his reasons for being in that cardboard box.
Well, I know for sure Carol will not be happy in a cardboard box, and that came very close. So I do appreciate my home, and I am learning to appreciate myself more and more, because I am one of those people that would compare myself to others and feel that I was lacking. And I'm learning how to love myself more. And it means undoing a lot of years of being told that I wasn't good enough or that I didn't deserve to be loved. And whenever I complain to Gretta, like, I know this stuff now, why does challenges keep happening? And she said to me, which I think is very profound, I'd like to share with the listeners, you have been practicing not loving yourself for much longer than you are practicing to love yourself. And I keep reminding myself about that. Practice makes perfect. Isn't that another expression we use?
Yes. And you know what? Next week, this rolls right into the same topic. You are challenged. You exist simultaneously in realities and the extension of these realities. Consequently, you are responsible for the creation of all of them. So that's where we are next week, Carol. So we are continuing the challenge.
I'm excited for that. Can I remind the listeners you can catch up on any episodes of Shifting Impressions you might have missed. If you're new to the podcast and you want to learn how we initiated creation of reality as a topic, feel free to use your favorite streaming app like YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as therealmofbeings.com.
And like us and follow us.
Oh, please do. Yes.
I want 10 million visitors.
I want to thank Kathy. I want to thank Gretta and the Realm of Beings, as well as Transformation Network. And most importantly, thank you, and listeners, you are very appreciated. Until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the realm and me, Gretta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.